Imagine a real estate ad from 100,000 years ago. Luxury cave dwelling with breathtaking views of the Mediterranean, perfect shelter from the elements. Of course, back then, Neanderthals weren't exactly browsing Zillow. But let's journey back to a time when caves were more than just holes in the ground. They were home. Welcome to the weird and wonderful world of prehistoric cave living. While Neanderthals weren't building McMansions, they certainly knew a prime location when they saw one. Our story begins at the Rock of Gibraltar, a formidable limestone cape. Had Neanderthals possessed an economy, the caves nestled within this rock would have commanded a king's ransom. Discovered in 1907 by keen-eyed navigators who spotted a massive opening in the fortified rock, this site has been a treasure trove for scientists ever since. Within, they unearthed not just ancient tools and the bones of long-gone animals, but a veritable residential complex, a network of 4 interconnected caves. Picture this: Neanderthal families living side by side, cooperating on hunts and fishing expeditions. Imagine them crafting decorations from feathers and adorning the cave walls with abstract art. We can almost see our ancient relatives socializing in these very chambers, 100 millennia in the past. And now, scientists meticulously piece together their story. In late 2021, a breakthrough. Archaeologists stumbled upon a hidden passage within one of the caves, a narrow gap leading to an unexplored tunnel. Squeezing through, they found themselves in a previously unknown space beneath the cave roof. This chamber, sealed off from the outside world for over 40,000 years, appears to have been the penthouse suite of the entire mountain complex. Behold the high ceilings, adorned with ancient stalactites. Stone formations, like ruined curtains, once divided the space into separate rooms. The researchers also found the remains of ancient animals and curious scratches etched into the walls. Intriguingly, it seems Neanderthals didn't reside here permanently, but visited perhaps for special occasions. A sea snail shell, dog whelk, was also discovered, a souvenir brought in by a Neanderthal. The true owners of this prestigious abode? Hyenas. These caves reveal a surprising truth. Neanderthals were far more sophisticated than simple brutes. They possessed a way of life, even customs. And the exploration continues, with the hope of uncovering even more hidden chambers within the rock. Meanwhile, in 2003, another remarkable discovery unfolded on the island of Flores in Indonesia. Amidst the dense emerald jungle, archaeologists unearthed a cave filled with ancient tools. Initially, they assumed it was another site of early human habitation. But then, they found something truly extraordinary: the skeleton of an adult female. Detailed analysis revealed that this was no ordinary human ancestor. The woman, a mere 3.5 feet tall, barely reaching the waist of an average adult, weighed about as much as a fully grown sheepdog. This was a new species, distinct from Neanderthals and Australopithecines, which scientists named Homo floresiensis, or simply the Hobbit. The cave also held the remains of unusual creatures: an elephant the size of a cow, enormous storks, and giant rats. It turns out the hobbits weren't the sole occupants of this cave. The rats, some as large as cats, were the true residents. Perhaps they even battled with the hobbits for dominance. Genetic analysis suggests that Homo floresiensis was not a direct ancestor of modern humans, but rather a distant cousin on a separate branch of the evolutionary tree. In fact, the hobbit skeleton bears a closer resemblance to that of an ape than to modern Homo sapiens. Fast forward to 2009, and the jungles of Vietnam reveal yet another breathtaking wonder: Son Doong, the largest cave in the world. Step inside, let out a shout, and listen as your echo reverberates for what seems like an eternity. In places, the cave's height reaches half that of the Empire State Building, and its total area is larger than an entire city block in Manhattan. Son Doong is just one of 3 interconnected caves nestled within the Vietnamese jungle. A labyrinth of intricate passages links them together. Within this subterranean world, unique plants and trees thrive, isolated from the outside world. It's a veritable underground jungle. Collapsed ceilings allow sunlight to filter in, creating surreal landscapes. Ancient stalactites hang like crystal chandeliers, some formed from limestone deposits over 450 million years old, predating even the dinosaurs. Rivers carve their way through the cave, fed by rainwater cascading through holes in the ceiling. These fast-flowing streams resemble natural water slides, beckoning explorers into the unknown depths of the underground maze. Scientists have only scratched the surface of this vast, unexplored realm. Our journey concludes in New Zealand, home to another extraordinary cave. Here, hundreds of thousands of glowworms illuminate the darkness, each emitting a soft, blue light. Together they transform the cave into a celestial wonderland, a scene straight out of science fiction. But beware, you can't stay there for too long without special air measuring devices. Imagine a world teeming with life, a world we can only glimpse through the lens of science. Scientists, those tireless explorers of the unseen, are constantly monitoring our world. Even the delicate dance of fireflies demands attention. These tiny beacons, so crucial to the ecosystem, are remarkably sensitive to their surroundings. Imagine a cave, their sanctuary. Too many visitors, too much time spent within its walls, and the park staff must intervene. It's as though we're stealing the very air they need to survive, a stark reminder of our impact on the natural world. We've witnessed incredible caves, haven't we? But what about a cave that inspires dread? Let's journey to the desolate landscapes of Yemen's Al-Mahra province. Our destination isn't a cave in the traditional sense, but a gaping maw, a black hole in the earth, a void in the heart of the desert. Its dimensions, roughly the size of a basketball court. But it's not the size that chills you to the bone. It's what lurks within. Scientists remain baffled by this abyss. From its inky depths rises a revolting stench, the unmistakable odor of rotten eggs, a testament to unseen processes. And sometimes, carried on the desert wind, are unsettling, terrifying sounds. The blackness of this Yemeni chasm swallows all light. Even the most powerful flashlights offer no glimpse into its secrets. Helicopters have flown overhead, equipped with cutting-edge cameras and lenses, yet they capture nothing but impenetrable darkness. It's a stain of pure night against the sun-baked sand. The local people speak of another dimension, a gateway to a realm inhabited by malevolent entities. They avoid this place, believing it to be cursed. The giant hole in Yemen remains one of the most enigmatic and poorly understood natural phenomena on Earth. How did it form? How old is it? Where does it lead? These are the questions that haunt scientists. One theory suggests that construction activities, specifically geological drilling for minerals, might have destabilized the Earth's crust, leading to the collapse. But this remains unproven, a mere hypothesis in the face of the unknown. Now, let your mind wander to a place where sunlight has been banished for over 5 million years. Imagine the crushing darkness, the scarcity of oxygen, the perpetual cold and damp. Yet, even here, life finds a way. Not just microbes and bacteria, but something more substantial. The conditions in this subterranean realm are so radically different from the surface world that it's akin to discovering an alien planet. This is the Moval Cave, nestled in southeastern Romania, near the shores of the Black Sea. Its entrance is a small, unassuming hole in the ground, leading to a network of tunnels that plunge deep beneath the surface. Hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide levels are dangerously high. The air contains only half the oxygen found above ground. Humans require oxygen masks to survive here, but for the cave's unique inhabitants, this is their normal world. The Mobile Cave is home to 48 distinct species of living organisms, a staggering 33 of which are found nowhere else on Earth. Here, you might encounter bizarre insects, ghostly white snails, and albino spiders. Millipedes with extraordinarily long antennae navigate the darkness alongside translucent shrimp and unique species of leeches. All of this life thrives thanks to chemosynthetic bacteria, the autotrophs of this dark world. These microscopic organisms absorb carbon dioxide and release nourishing food particles. The bacteria become sustenance for larger organisms, which in turn are consumed by even larger creatures. It's a complete self-contained ecosystem, a testament to the power of evolution to create life even in the most extreme environments. In essence, this cave is a biological island, a world entirely separate from our own. But let's return to the surface, to the concrete jungle of New York City. Is the Big Apple becoming too heavy for its own good? A recent study reveals a disconcerting truth. New York City is sinking, and the culprit, those iconic skyscrapers. This phenomenon is known as subsidence, the gradual or sudden settling of the Earth's surface. Soft sediments beneath the city are shifting under the immense weight of its buildings, causing the city to sink. Now, don't panic just yet. The study indicates that New York is sinking at a rate of 0.04 to 0.07 inches per year. While this may seem insignificant, some areas are sinking at a much faster pace. This sinking poses a significant threat, especially considering New York's low-lying geography and its population of over 8 million people. Local authorities must develop strategies to mitigate the increasing flood risk and rising sea levels. Perhaps giant seawalls aren't the ultimate solution. We need more innovative approaches. Geologists emphasize that constructing more high-rises near coastlines, rivers, or lakes could exacerbate future flood risks. We need to carefully consider the consequences before erecting skyscrapers indiscriminately. Recent studies have calculated the total mass of all the buildings in New York City, over 1 million structures. The combined weight is an astounding 1.68 trillion pounds. That's a colossal burden on the Earth's crust. And this figure doesn't even include the weight of roads, sidewalks, bridges, and other paved surfaces. Imagine the total weight bearing down on the city. Despite these limitations, researchers have made significant strides in quantifying the impact of human construction on our planet. Beneath the bustling metropolis of New York City lies a complex geological tapestry, a layered history of sand, silt, clay deposits, and the unyielding bedrock. Imagine the immense weight of skyscrapers pressing down on this foundation. Scientists have discovered that certain soil types, like clay and artificial fill, are particularly susceptible to subsidence, a gradual sinking of the ground. Bedrock, however, remains steadfast, anchoring those towering structures and ensuring the Empire State Building won't be taking an unexpected plunge anytime soon. By comparing intricate computer models with precise satellite data, researchers have crafted a detailed map pinpointing areas of sinking within the city. And the culprit? Increased urbanization coupled with the relentless pumping and draining of groundwater. It's a stark reminder that we must safeguard our vital resources. But don't start panicking and packing your bags just yet. New York isn't alone in its slow descent. Consider Jakarta, the sprawling capital of Indonesia, grappling with a severe sinking crisis. Experts predict that by 2050, significant portions of the city could be submerged, a real-life Atlantis scenario unfolding before our eyes. Over 30 million residents of Jakarta now face the daunting decision of whether to relocate their entire city. And then there's Venice, a city seemingly determined to return to the sea. Why is this iconic city so eager to take a dive? The truth, as always, is complex. Venice was built upon a marshy lagoon with inherently unstable foundations. Over centuries, the ground beneath simply couldn't bear the weight and began to compact, like a marshmallow under pressure. Compounding the problem, the city has voraciously consumed groundwater. The final blow? Sea levels are steadily rising, and even the Earth itself seems to be conspiring against Venice. Subterranean plate tectonics are subtly pushing the Adriatic plate beneath the Apennine Mountains, adding extra downward pressure on the sinking city. At one point, authorities wisely decided to halt groundwater pumping, hoping to arrest the sinking. But even then, a recent study revealed that the sinking hasn't stopped completely, merely slowed. It appears the entire area is subtly tilting eastward, with Venice perched precariously on the slightly higher edge. Just how much is Venice sinking each year? Prepare for a sobering revelation. The city is sinking at a rate of approximately 0.4 to 0.07 inches annually, similar to New York. At this rate, Venice could sink a staggering 3 inches below sea level within the next 20 years. To prevent Venice from transforming into a submerged Venetian fishbowl, locals are frantically constructing specialized barriers to hold back the encroaching waters of the lagoon. But this ambitious project has been plagued by delays. And have you ever wondered about Venice's charming, antiquated aesthetic? It's not just a stylistic choice. The salty waters have been relentlessly attacking the buildings, breaching the original damp-proofing measures. Now, the water is seeping into the masonry, rendering the ground floors of many apartments uninhabitable. When will Venice finally succumb to the abyss? It's impossible to say definitively. Subsidence and rising sea levels are as slow and unpredictable as a turtle in a marathon. However, experts have cautioned that if current trends continue, Venice could be doing the backstroke beneath the waves by 2100. But fear not, dedicated efforts are underway to safeguard this floating gem of history and culture from becoming a Hollywood disaster movie. So, don't cancel that gondola ride just yet. Meanwhile, New Orleans faces its own unique watery predicament. This vibrant city was initially constructed just a sliver above sea level, and is now slowly sinking back down. Back when the French Quarter was first established, settlers had to make do with what they had. They claimed the best land available, but it was only about 10 feet above sea level. And the rest of the city? As flat as a pancake, with areas surrounding the French Quarter even lower. Despite knowing they faced significant challenges with water, the resourceful residents of New Orleans did everything they could to elevate their homes above the flood-prone land they had chosen. Adding to the complexity, the ground beneath New Orleans is as unstable as a plate of jelly. Architects, mindful of this, had to keep their buildings short and lightweight, fearing the soil couldn't support taller structures. They cautiously limited construction to 2 or 2.5 stories. The story takes an interesting turn in the early 1900s. The city installed an advanced drainage system, hoping to solve its persistent water issues. While the system effectively drained the marshes, it inadvertently extracted the lifeblood from the soil. The ground was left parched, lacking the necessary sediment and water to maintain its structure. Imagine a city, once vibrant and teeming with life, slowly succumbing to the relentless pull of the earth. That's the story of several urban centers around the globe, and New Orleans is a prime example. Those former marshes, once a defining feature of the landscape, are now sinking as if locked in a desperate quicksand competition. By the 1930s, the situation had taken a dramatic turn. A staggering 1/3 of the city found itself below sea level. Fast forward to the devastating arrival of Hurricane Katrina, and that number had skyrocketed to an alarming 50%. And as if that weren't enough, the very oceans are joining the fray. Sea levels are rising at an accelerating rate, faster than a runaway hot air balloon. Now, not only is New Orleans facing the challenge of sinking land, but the surrounding areas are also contending with varying degrees of submersion. A truly daunting predicament. So, what can be done to address the plight of these sinking cities? Well, for starters, we could adopt a more responsible approach to water consumption. We can't continue to drain groundwater from the earth as if there's no tomorrow. We need to explore innovative ways to quench the thirst of our urban centers. Imagine purifying surface waters or even transforming salty seawater into a source of fresh, potable water. Of course, this ambitious undertaking would require a substantial amount of energy to make it all work. Speaking of ingenious urban water management, let me introduce you to a remarkable town in Denmark called NY. These folks have truly cracked the code. They collect rainwater and use it to supply their toilets and washing machines. Now that's what I call resourcefulness, a stroke of pure genius when it comes to sustainability. Here's a riddle for you. Which U.S. city is so beloved that its name deserves to be repeated twice? You guessed it, New York, New York. But how much do we truly know about this iconic metropolis? I'm talking about the city that lies beneath the city, a hidden world waiting to be explored. Dare to join me on an underground tour of the Big Apple? Then grab your flashlight, because things are about to get dark. Our journey begins in the heart of Manhattan, in front of the Romanesque City Hall building. Believe it or not, beneath our feet lies New York's oldest subway station, known as the Old City Hall Station. It opened its doors on October 27, 1904, a night of true celebration for New Yorkers. People were so thrilled by this technological marvel that some of them spent the entire night riding the trains back and forth. Before this, urban dwellers relied on horse-drawn carriages for transportation. No wonder the subway was such a revolutionary hit. Stepping inside the old City Hall station is like stepping into a time capsule. The architecture is simply dazzling, unlike anything you'll find in modern subway stations. Fun fact, the old City Hall station would cost an estimated $6.2 million to build today. Back in its heyday, it boasted dozens of brass chandeliers, making it one of the few spots in town with functioning electricity. And let's not forget the brand new multicolored tiled arches and stained glass ceilings, which you can still admire today. Impressive, isn't it? If you decide to wander down the tracks, you might be in for a treat. Underground New York is every bit as fascinating as the city above ground, but one thing we often take for granted is the intricate infrastructure that keeps the Big Apple functioning. Down here, you might stumble upon one or two of New York's pneumatic mail tubes. These tubes were built in the 1800s and remained operational until the 1950s. They were responsible for distributing people's mail between different post offices. Letters zipped through these tubes at an impressive speed of 35 miles per hour, almost as fast as a professional runner. It sounds like a remarkably efficient system, but it's still a bit surreal to imagine people's correspondence whizzing around 15 feet underground. Back at street level, we'll stroll along the opulent Lexington and Park Avenues. If you look up, you'll catch a glimpse of the famous Waldorf Astoria, a five-star hotel that has hosted countless celebrities, including John Lennon and Yoko Ono, as well as presidents like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This is why the hotel employed a secret infrastructure to discreetly move people in and out. Beneath the building, a tunnel known as Track 61 connected the Waldorf Astoria to Grand Central Station. The track was deactivated in the late 70s, but some say that Andy Warhol threw a legendary party there in the 80s. I bet that was quite the spectacle. For the next leg of our visit, we'll hop on the subway and head uptown. We'll disembark at 125th Street and find ourselves on the scenic waterfront of Riverside Park. Here, you'll discover remnants of an old metro line. If you follow the tracks, you'll reach an underground graffiti gallery, also known as the Freedom Tunnel. The tunnel is named after a graffiti artist from the 1980s, widely known as Freedom. While exploring these tunnels, we'll encounter over 40 graffiti pieces that he painted over 15 years. There are spray-painted depictions of James Dean, Mona Lisa, and even a self-portrait of Freedom himself. Moving on, let's explore the northern reaches of New York City for a while. A walk through Van Cortlandt Park will make you feel as if you're hiking upstate, but rest assured, you're still within the city limits. Along the way, you'll come across some massive ventilation towers made of stone. These towers were once integral to New York's infrastructure, forming the remains of what used to be the Croton. Imagine stepping back in time to the 1800s in New York City. The city's lifeblood, its water supply, flowed through an impressive underground tunnel stretching 41 meters. This aqueduct brought fresh water all the way from the Croton River in upstate New York to Bryant Park in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. But here's a twist. Bryant Park, as we know it, didn't exist then. Instead, a colossal stone structure, reminiscent of something the ancient Egyptians might have constructed, dominated the landscape. This massive 4-acre structure served as the city's water reservoir. Picture this. A pathway graced the top, allowing citizens to enjoy a leisurely afternoon stroll while gazing upon the crystalline water held within. All this exploration might stir your appetite, so our next stop involves a delectable treat. We must venture beyond Manhattan to the vibrant borough of Brooklyn. New York City, as you likely know, comprises 5 boroughs: Manhattan, Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island, and Brooklyn. Our destination? Crown Heights. Would you believe me if I told you that beneath these bustling streets lie caves filled with aging cheese? How very Parisian. To reach this cheesy treasure, you'll need to navigate through a century-old building, now repurposed as office space. Perhaps a friendly wave to the diligent workers as you discreetly slip into one of the stairways leading 30 feet below ground. No need for a flashlight here. The caves are well lit and renovated, capable of holding up to 22,000 pounds of cheese. Be warned, though, a pungent aroma might greet you. After all, these underground tunnels were initially chosen by cheesemakers precisely because of the unique aging environment they provided. After savoring a bite or two of some exquisite cheese, let's continue our exploration. Still in Brooklyn, you might encounter throngs of locals reveling in a sunny day at the McCarran Park Pool. This pool is a major attraction, boasting a size 3 times that of an Olympic pool. As the seasoned NYC explorer you're becoming, you might even consider taking a dip. But there's a far more intriguing aspect to this location. Constructed in the early 1900s, the pool was shut down in the 1950s. During this period of abandonment, urban explorers stumbled upon a network of underground tunnels directly beneath the pool. And of course, you, intrepid explorer, can seek out a secret entrance and take a peek for yourself. Within, you'll discover not only the pool's filtration and heating systems, but also a wealth of graffiti from its abandoned era. Now, for a slightly unusual question. Have you ever encountered a cow in New York City? I certainly haven't. Perhaps there's a good reason. Apparently, New York City still harbors underground tunnels once used for cattle transportation. As automobiles began to flood New York, cows became a traffic impediment. To alleviate this, a 200-foot-long cow passage was constructed beneath 12th Street, facilitating the transport of livestock ferried over from New Jersey. Sadly, you won't be able to visit this subterranean passage as it was likely destroyed. However, historians have unearthed blueprints confirming its existence. Adding to our list of subterranean wonders, archaeologists recently unearthed a peculiar fossil. Imagine peeling back the layers of the city's soil. At a mere 15 inches, you'll encounter a tangle of wires. TV cables, electrical lines, and all the associated infrastructure. Digging deeper, at 4 feet, you'll unearth water and sewage pipes. But then, at 15 feet below the surface of NYC, diggers discovered a fossilized shipwreck. The wreck lies directly beneath Broad Street, once a shallow waterway. Experts believe the wreck dates back to the 1600s. It measures an impressive 92 feet in length and 25 feet in width. And that's not all. At the intersection of Bowery and Canal Street, engineers stumbled upon a room with walls and ceiling entirely covered in mirrors. To this day, no one has been able to explain the existence of this bizarre, reflective chamber. Our Big Apple Underground tour is nearing its end, but we've certainly done more than just scratch the surface. Before we conclude, let's savor the best of NYC cuisine, a classic bagel. Who knows? Perhaps next time we'll explore the hidden depths of Paris or even London. Until then, fellow explorer. Now, let's journey far south to the tropical lowlands of northern Guatemala. Here, researchers have made an astonishing discovery. Nearly 1,000 previously hidden Maya settlements. This incredible feat was accomplished using LiDAR, light detection and ranging technology. These advanced lasers were deployed to scan the area from the air, effectively seeing through the dense jungle canopy. The region in question is vast. The structures and buildings identified stretch across approximately 650 square miles. These sites were occupied thousands of years ago. The density of these structures suggests a closely packed population, with people living in close proximity to one another. Archaeologists have identified at least 407 ancient villages, towns, and cities, complete with identifiable boundaries. These settlements were part of what appears to have been a complex kingdom. Some of these settlements featured sports courts, civic ceremonial centers, religious sites, and residential homes. The landscape was also dotted with massive palaces, platforms, dams, and pyramids. Imagine a world where colossal pyramids pierce the sky, linked by vast causeways stretching across the land. Here, in what we know as Central America, lived the Maya. But to build this civilization, the Maya needed more than just manpower. They required the ability to organize thousands of specialists and laborers, individuals possessing a diverse range of skills. Consider the expertise required. Lime producers, vital for creating the mortar that held their majestic structures together. Architects, visionaries who designed the towering temples and sprawling cities, quarry specialists who extracted the massive stones from the earth, and lithic technicians, masters of shaping stone tools. And of course, those who maintained order through legal enforcement. A true community, united by a common purpose. Now, picture researchers utilizing cutting-edge laser scanning technology to unveil the secrets hidden beneath the dense jungle canopy. This system, a marvel of modern science, penetrates even the thickest vegetation. Light pulses bounce off various surfaces, creating a digitally reconstructed map of the terrain. The time it takes for these pulses to return to a receiver reveals the hidden topography, exposing ancient structures and agricultural lands. This technology has revealed that the Maya cleverly utilized lowlands for agriculture. But why did the Maya choose to settle in this particular region? Why build such an incredible kingdom in the challenging environment of a tropical rainforest? Ancient peoples typically favored drier climates, where they could construct water reservoirs, the lifeblood of their societies. Think of Teotihuacan in highland Mexico. While the Maya did have navigable rivers for transport and trade, the rainforest presented its own unique advantages. The Maya skillfully exploited the natural resources around them. Limestone, their primary building material, was abundant. They extracted salt and volcanic rock, obsidian, fashioning it into tools. They found enough dry land to construct their homes and temples. The seasonal swamps, known as bajos, provided fertile soil for agriculture. The Maya were ingenious. Their settlements were designed to withstand the challenges of the rainy season, demonstrating their preparedness for floods and droughts. Their architecture, a testament to their resilience, reflects a centralized kingdom, a society that persevered through adversity. The Mayan Empire, a force to be reckoned with, reached its zenith around the 6th century CE. Masters of pottery, agriculture, writing, mathematics, and astronomy, they developed complex calendar systems, including the calendar round, based on 365 days. While some mistakenly believed that the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world on December 21st, 2012, it merely marked the conclusion of a full cycle, known as the Long Count calendar, spanning 5,125 years. The Mayan people left behind a breathtaking legacy of architecture and symbolic artwork. However, by 900 CE, their magnificent stone cities were largely abandoned. The reasons for the collapse of the Mayan civilization remain shrouded in mystery, though theories abound. Some suggest that the Maya exhausted their resources, rendering it impossible to sustain their large population. Others believe that conflict between city-states fractured their traditional power structure. A prolonged drought may have also played a role. It's likely that a combination of these factors contributed to their decline. Yet one Mayan city, located on an island, persevered until the 17th century, long after the demise of other Mayan settlements. Today, travelers may recognize it by its modern name, Flores. Scientists estimate that around 2,000 people inhabited this resilient city. The earliest Maya were primarily farmers, cultivating crops such as beans, squash, corn, and cassava. With a diverse range of ingredients at their disposal, they crafted countless recipes, many of which endure to this day in modern Mexican cuisine. Papayas, cacao, avocados, squash, pineapples, and chili peppers remain staples of the region. While the Maya primarily practiced a primitive form of slash-and-burn agriculture, evidence suggests that they also employed more advanced farming techniques, such as terracing and irrigation. And let's not forget their love of chocolate. Over 3,500 years ago, the people of Mesoamerica discovered the potential of the cacao bean, but it was the Maya who elevated chocolate to an art form. Archaeologists discovered traces of cacao in Mayan pottery, revealing that they mixed it with honey, water, cornmeal, and chili peppers to create a spicy, savory hot chocolate beverage, a drink that can still be enjoyed in Mexico and Central America today. The Maya also developed a sophisticated written language, recording their knowledge and history in books, their paper. Imagine traveling back in time, not to the bustling streets of a modern city, but to the heart of the ancient Mayan civilization. These ingenious people, flourishing centuries ago, left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate us. Their mastery of written language is evident in the intricate books they crafted. But instead of paper as we know it, the Maya ingeniously used the bark of the fig tree. Imagine strips of this bark meticulously prepared and then transformed into pages. These ancient books, made from this unique material, are known as codices. While countless volumes have been lost to the ravages of time, victims of the humid climate and other unfortunate circumstances, 4 remarkable examples still survive today, offering invaluable glimpses into the Mayan world. The architectural prowess of the classic Maya is undeniable. They erected magnificent palaces and towering temples, each meticulously designed with a distinctive stepped pyramid shape. These structures weren't just buildings. They were canvases adorned with intricate inscriptions and elaborate reliefs. This artistic dedication cemented their reputation as incredible artists of Mesoamerica. Aesthetics played a vital role in Mayan culture. A flattened forehead, believe it or not, was considered the height of beauty. This pursuit of a particular aesthetic ideal was just one facet of their elaborate beauty standards. They enhanced their appearances with elaborate makeup and intricate clothing, but their artistic talents extended far beyond monumental architecture. The Maya were also master tattoo artists, standing as one of the first civilizations to embrace this form of body art. Imagine the skill and precision required to create lasting designs on skin using ancient tools and techniques. Their culture was rich with beliefs, including a deep connection to the mystical. Like many ancient civilizations around the world, the Maya believed in fairies, though they knew them by a different name: Aluxes. These mythical creatures held a special place in their folklore. The Maya would craft sculptures of Aluxes from wood or clay, carefully concealing them in secret spots within the forest. They believed that these sculptures would magically come to life during the night, assuming the role of guardians, protecting their land, animals, and vital crops. The Mayan worldview extended to the depths of the earth. Caves, they believed, were sacred portals leading to the underworld. Today, you can even explore some of these very caves, venturing into the jungles of Quintana Roo and Yucatan near Canon. Here, researchers have unearthed countless artifacts left behind by the Maya, tangible reminders of their beliefs and practices. The Maya were also innovative engineers and scientists. They were among the first cultures to harness the properties of rubber latex. They used this material to create, among other things, rubber balls for their many fascinating games. Imagine the process: extracting natural latex and then, through experimentation, mixing it with other natural substances to achieve the perfect bounce. And their ingenuity didn't stop there. The Maya constructed elaborate steam baths, structures made from stone that resembled what we know today as bathtubs. They also built heated stone structures similar to sweat houses. Researchers have discovered these ancient bathhouses in El Salvador and Guatemala, often hidden beneath layers of volcanic ash, preserved for centuries. Now let's fast forward to a different world, a different kind of wonder. Welcome to New York City, home to one of its most iconic buildings. Its official name is the Fuller Building, but its distinctive shape has earned it a more popular moniker, the Flatiron Building. This sharp, 25-degree corner at the top instantly evokes the image of a flat iron, and the name has stuck not just to the skyscraper itself, but to the entire district surrounding it. This unusual cake-slice shape has transformed the building into a major tourist attraction. It has appeared in countless movies, TV shows, and magazines, making it instantly recognizable, even if you've never set foot in Manhattan. Surprisingly, today, much of the 285-foot-tall Flatiron Building stands empty. Behind its fancy walls lies a complex and mysterious dispute between its owners. But let's delve into the history of this architectural marvel. In 1901, the Fuller Company, a construction enterprise, purchased a sharply triangular plot of land at the intersection of Broadway and Fifth Avenue. They commissioned Daniel Burnham, a renowned architect from Chicago, to design the company's new headquarters. The challenge was to maximize every inch of available space. Burnham responded with a design for a 22-story triangular tower constructed of steel. The Flatiron Building's shape was reminiscent of a Greek column, with its top and bottom slightly wider than its middle. The Fuller Company approved the design and swiftly demolished several older buildings to make way for the future tower. Construction progressed at an astonishing pace, completed within a single year, a testament to the building prowess of the era. The Flatiron Building was one of the first buildings to utilize steel for its structural frame, instead of relying on load-bearing masonry. It was also one of New York's first skyscrapers and the first steel skeleton structure visible to the public. The curtain wall cladding was equally innovative for its time. Builders used terracotta and limestone to create a chic and polished exterior around the steel structure, which carried the building's weight. Initially, many believed that this unusual architecture would be unable to withstand the strong winds that whipped through the city. The project's engineers carefully analyzed the tower's aerodynamics and designed a steel frame to mitigate potential wind-related problems. Despite these precautions, people still reported experiencing strong gusts of wind on the streets surrounding the building. The Flatiron Building also presented other unique challenges. Furnishing the tight, angular spaces proved difficult. And surprisingly, the building initially lacked bathrooms for women. This put female tenants at a significant disadvantage. However, the management later addressed this issue, adding ladies' rooms on odd-numbered floors. Imagine stepping back in time to the bustling streets of early 20th century New York. We find ourselves gazing up at a groundbreaking structure, the Flatiron Building. Even-numbered floors housed the men's restrooms, a curious detail of the era, and the building's first elevators. They were powered by a water hydraulic system, a marvel of engineering that took a staggering 10 minutes to reach the top. It's easy to see why that system never truly took off. Unsurprisingly, the media met this architectural innovation with skepticism. Some critics even derisively dubbed it Burnham's Folly. But despite the doubters, the Flatiron Building thrived, becoming home to numerous businesses and retail outlets. It became a magnet, drawing crowds of onlookers, and quickly transformed into a beloved subject for painters and postcard makers. The Flatiron became an enduring symbol of New York City itself. Fast forward to 1929, the year of the Great Depression. The tower was sold at auction for a mere $100,000. But the Flatiron story doesn't end there. In 1966, it achieved official city landmark status, safeguarding it from any unauthorized renovations or demolition. Then, in 1989, it received the even more prestigious designation of National Historic Landmark. However, time takes its toll. By 2019, the last tenants had vacated the building, and it has remained empty ever since, caught in a web of disputes among its current owners and prospective tenants over extensive renovation plans. The heart of the matter: a battle between those who wish to convert the building into a luxury hotel and Nathan Silverstein, who owned a 25% stake and favored dividing the property. In 2023, a local court intervened, organizing an auction to resolve the impasse. The owners of the 75% stake hoped to buy out Silverstein, finally putting an end to the squabbling. The bidding began at $50 million and quickly escalated to a jaw-dropping $190 million, thanks to an unexpected contender, Jacob Garlick. Garlick's victory shocked everyone. Some observers considered his bid excessively high, given the estimated $100 million needed for renovations. But the story takes an even stranger turn. After the auction, Garlick vanished without a trace. He failed to pay the deposit, let alone the full amount, and has yet to offer any explanation to the media. His location and intentions remain a mystery. It seems that one can simply appear at a high-profile New York auction, outbid everyone, and then simply disappear. Real estate experts have described the situation as highly unusual, as bidders are typically required to demonstrate proof of funds beforehand. Some have speculated that Silverstein enlisted Garlick's participation to artificially inflate the price, but Silverstein has denied any close relationship with the man. On May 20th, a second auction was held. Garlick was nowhere to be seen. This time, a coalition of syndicates and previous owners emerged victorious, acquiring the Flatiron Building for $101 million. Their plans remain under wraps. So, the future of the Flatiron Building remains uncertain. Yet, in its 121 years, this iconic landmark has weathered countless challenges, from defying architectural norms to surviving economic crises like the Great Depression. It's likely that this enduring tower will continue to surprise us for years to come. But the Flatiron isn't the only New York skyscraper facing difficulties. Consider the half-built, leaning tower of Manhattan. This 670-foot skyscraper, located at the intersection of South Street and Maiden Lane on the East River, was intended to house 80 luxury condos, each priced at up to $7 million. The developer even planned to provide yacht services to its well-heeled residents. Pre-sales for this opulent yet unfinished project began in 2018. However, in 2020, the tower began to tilt, leaning 3 inches to the north. Construction was halted, and a massive investigation was launched to determine the cause of the alarming lean. While the exact reason remains unclear, the prevailing theory points to a weak foundation. And now, let's step inside the Waldorf Astoria, a legendary hotel that has played host to dignitaries, royalty, and Hollywood stars. This Art Deco masterpiece is where Marilyn Monroe once resided and where Grace Kelly became engaged to Prince Rainier III of Monaco. However, in 2017, the iconic hotel closed its doors for a multi-billion-dollar renovation. The property's new Chinese owners, Anbang Insurance, plan to convert a portion of the hotel rooms into luxury condo apartments. By 2019, the anticipated price for these condos had soared to $18 million per unit, but something went awry, and the project's completion date was pushed back to 2025 at the earliest. According to media reports, the renovation has already cost an estimated $2 billion. Some insiders attribute the delays and cost overruns to poor coordination, exacerbated by the dismissal of the project's American director. They also cite, "The fate of the Waldorf Astoria in New York City hangs in the balance." Imagine the iconic hotel, a beacon of luxury, now caught in a web of uncertainty. In 2018, a scandal rocked the project when the chairman of Anbang, the then owners, was imprisoned for fraud. The property fell into the hands of the Dajia Insurance Group. As it stands, the future of this legendary establishment remains shrouded in doubt. If you're planning a trip to the Big Apple, perhaps another hotel should be considered for now. And the tales of unfinished dreams don't end there. Let's journey to another site of unrealized potential. Back in 2019, a development firm named Cetra Group embarked on an ambitious project. A towering 33-story hotel strategically located near the bustling Madison Square Garden and Penn Station. The grand plan envisioned a 2021 opening, with the hotel becoming part of the prestigious IHG Hotels and Resorts Group. IHG manages a vast portfolio of hotels worldwide, so this was a major deal. But alas, the developers' aspirations crumbled. They failed to meet their financial obligations, unable to repay the loan that fueled the project. Construction stalled, and the envisioned hotel remained incomplete, a skeletal structure against the New York skyline. The estimated investment needed to finally bring this project to fruition? A staggering $116 million. The big question now is, who will step up to finish the job? Who will breathe life into this half-finished dream? The clock is ticking,